Now, this conversation is one that really interests me because I love when people, out of, I would say, passion, and of course the generosity of their hearts, decide to give back to society. And my guest here is one of such persons. We have the CEO at 8 Gear Hub and Venture Studio, Damilola Obadiaro. It is great to have you. You are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Dami, you're doing a great work. With what I have seen and all about 8 Gear Hub, I get to wonder what kind of a person would want to go into that. But just before I get to that, what is 8 Gear Hub and Venture Studio? What is it about?
8 Gear Hub and Venture Studio is an enterprise support organization. What it means is that we are primarily focused on supporting businesses, MSME founders or MSME operators to succeed at what they do.
So, how long has this been going on for?
Counting 6 years now.
And all through, before you got into this, what were you doing?
My first degree is in chemical engineering, funny enough. However, I have had the opportunity to transit between engineering, which is infrastructure, to telecoms. And recently, about 10 years ago, the entrepreneurship innovation ecosystem
came in. But how did that passion develop? What were you doing? What did you see? Because most of the time, people will tell you that for things like this, you've seen a need and you decide to meet it. Where was that, when that point come, that turning point that you decided, look, hey, there's this need for maybe digital inclusion and all of that, and I can meet that need. How did it happen for you?
Upon my experience, while in my 9 to 5, I noticed that quite a number of businesses in Africa were really struggling. I am fortunate to have had an MBA from Quantic School of Business and Technology, and I could see clearly that a number of businesses just required a little tweak here and there, and they couldn't just see the light, and just with a little spark of light, they could do better. I'm also one that is quite aware that the progress of Africa, Nigeria to be specific, lies in the hands of MSMEs, primarily.
Very true.
Government, yes. Big, small business owners really hold the future of every nation. Government will play their role in creating an enabling environment, as we will say. But at the end of the day, the most important people that will develop any nation are MSMEs. So why not focus on providing access to the support that they need? And of course, I'd seen a number of businesses, I'd seen a number of growing businesses struggle with access to basic information, struggle with access to I see a number of young people who wouldn't get into businesses just to survive, as a means of surviving, not necessarily to build something that actually benefits the community, the nation at large, or even contributes to the GDP. That's a very big conversation. As far away, I just want to survive to see the next day. And I'm also aware that I've seen a number of young people who then have this talent, they have these skills, they've identified problems to solve, but do not have the means, which informs the vision of 8 Gear, which is an Africa where everyone who has the drive to succeed has the means, access to the means to do so.
I love that, access to the means. So how do you put this together practically to a young guy out there who probably has a business or doesn't even have and wants to start? How does 8 Gear come in? How does he maybe access the services that 8 Gear offers, 8 Gear Hub offers?
Practically speaking, at the Hub, we provide quite a number of services. First and foremost, the basis is our subscription. That allows people access monthly accountability services. First and foremost, we help you clarify your business model, we clarify your vision, your goals, take it from you, and then support you along the way to check how you're meeting those goals. That's a paid subscription at the Hub.
At the Hub, okay, yes. Wonderful.
But aside from that, we also then layer access to infrastructure. We have co-working spaces at 3 different locations in Lagos, one at Yaba, one at Magodo, one upcoming in Alimosho.
Okay.
All right. Now, those hubs serve as office spaces. That's basic. Aside from that, we offer business advisory. We also then offer what we call talent placement, because we know that one of the biggest problems that entrepreneurs then have is being able to access the right people to work with them in their organization. So we especially digital technology, so tech talents, like we say. And then finally, we also then provide what we call access to digital tools. We're partnered, we're authorized resellers of Zoo Africa. We're enterprise business partners with MTN and a number of B2B, that's business-to-business startups that are providing digital tools that other businesses can use.
Wonderful.
And so we put all this together, and then we become more like that one-stop shop, really, where MSMEs can come in. I need to register my CAC, there are lawyers on ground, there are shared services on ground. I need to do my financial statements, there are accountants on ground. Just one hub where we can all share services and then see you grow and then move out of the hub.
Wonderful. Now, you also do something which I really like, trainings. You also have trainings. You have paid levels and you have free levels. Tell us about those trainings.
All right. We have a couple of trainings, both for MSMEs and especially for young people who want to access digital skills and who want to learn digital skills and then put them to use. First, most of our MSME trainings are also our capacity development trainings. We have, in fact, one around export, teaching MSMEs how to package themselves for export, coming up in February. Free? Yes, free. Most of our programs, by the way, let me state this so I don't forget, most of our programs are free. We have the generous support of even international organizations like the United States African Development Foundation, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, LSCTF, and GIZ and the likes, who actually are very interested in the same things we are, and then support most of these programs
that you do.
That we do. So we have those SMA training, but I want to focus a little on the digital skills training for young people that we have. It's particularly interesting because we find a number of young people who say, I have nothing to do, I'm seated at home, and I really wish I could just learn a tech skill and pick things up. But we're saying we have these opportunities here where you do not have to actually pay a dime. In fact, you will get opportunity to some stipends to transport you to the hub.
Wonderful.
And your first 3 months of internship, which is a core component of the program, you also get some stipends from the project, aside from what you get from where you're placed.
Do you need, is there any level of qualification that is needed for this particular training for any young person? Do you, is there a prerequisite? Something that someone needs before you get into it?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
For most of these trainings, your literacy level is basically what we need. So a school cert.
A school cert?
Is fine.
Which is
quite some are a little bit more advanced.
Okay.
So for instance, back-end software development, a little bit advanced. So a degree that allows you, that shows that you have done some analytical thinking.
Wonderful.
Will also be good. Engineering will also stand you apart.
Do you need, does the degree have to be in line with maybe anything tech? Not necessarily. I like that, but there's something you said which was very good. Because of course you've attained a degree, then that means that you've reached some level of analysis, analytical thinking. So that is quite something. So, and you mentioned after this training, you also do placements.
Yes,
also in different places.
Yes, we
places
do.
Are
so this placement speaks to both MSMEs and young people.
Okay.
On the MSMEs part, we tell them, don't struggle. Let us know what your needs are in advance. We can train, and which is what we do. Our trainings are not just trainings for training's sake. They're trainings to actually meet a need. And so most of the time we tweak the courses we train based on the most predominant needs at that point in time. All right.
Is venture capitalism a part of what you do?
Yes, it's actually at the very core, which is not what we go to the public about a lot.
Okay, all right.
Because internally, what we're doing as a venture studio is building ideas into MVPs and then spinning them off into viable businesses. Now, that's an internal process so that we don't really come to the public.
Put it out there.
But what makes a venture studio unique is that it takes some certain characteristics from VCs, which we call venture capitalists, and incubators and accelerators, and brings it together. So predominantly, what we actually invest the most in the businesses that we adopt into our venture studio is sweat equity. Of course, some funding comes with it. As we work with MSMEs, as we work with business, we find out the ones that resonate with us, and then also can blend into our ecosystem of solutions. It just makes sense to take more businesses that offer more solutions to the MSMEs that we generally serve. Now, if we find such business, we then negotiate with them, bring them into the studio. It means we take a significant stake in that business, and then we provide shared services and a little bit of funding into the business.
Damilola, this is massive, and I don't know how just one person is coordinating all of this, but look, I am wishing you, we are all wishing you the best. I know, any final words or something?
First and foremost, I'm not the one coordinating all this.
Okay.
I have a fantastic team
you're
behind me that
heading
makes.
the team.
Yes,
You're heading the team. I know, that's what I mean. You head the team.
My final words will be to say and to encourage everyone out there that Africa, in fact, Nigeria, has opportunities. There are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of issues that we need to navigate around, but there are a lot of opportunities here if we truly, genuinely want to build and we stay at it.
Wonderful. Well done, Dami. Wishing you the best. Keep up doing what you're doing, and yeah, well done. All right, that's it. I hope you're able to pick up something from that particular discussion. It's all about digital inclusion and all of that. And if you are out there, you're not doing something and all of that, you can probably hit out. Maybe social media. Where do people just maybe get access to you and all of that?
At the first 8 Gear Hub on social media.
Okay, at 8 Gear Hub.
8 with the TH.
Okay.
And then GEAR, like the gear of your car.
All right.
So 8th Gear, all one word, across social media platforms.
All right, you can definitely make all your inquiries there. That's it on this discussion. We'll take a time out now. Stay with us. We will be back in a bit.